we know what we're doing. We know how to make games.
As we first are bringing people in, we kind of want everybody to get to know each other and trade support before we open up a whole huge world where people are getting lost.
You know, a lot of the criticism behind, I think, NFTs in gaming is that it's like, oh, it's too speculative. Like, you know, these games aren't real games. But now, you know, we have something that's like really exciting that you guys have built, and it looks great already. It reminds me of a lot of like the MMORPGs that, you know, I used to play, like World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online. I played a bit of New World as well. So this is really exciting. And I think there hasn't been like a really good MMORPG type game in a while. So there's like a huge vacuum to be filled.
You know, what really got us interested in this is we had been making games that were really user-generated content driven for the last 10, 11 years. And what we saw is that players would just put their heart and soul into the design of an avatar character or of a home world that they created. They don't own any part of that. And what really got me excited about Web3 gaming initially was players who were putting that kind of passion, feel that kind of ownership in the game. They have real ownership now. In Cinder, they're going to be able to create worlds and characters and everything that they actually own and can control. I think that we're just scratching the surface on the functionality that blockchain ownership is going to bring players. He and I started this new company together. Pretty early on, we realized that there was a gap in games for kids that didn't suck. So we focused on that from the early days. Eventually that led in 2010 to us launching Animal Jam, which was a huge success. It's got over 130 million registered players now across 6 languages. It's been going for 11 plus years, still going strong, and it's still really an exciting project to work on. And we had worked on a project that we'd hoped would be kind of the successor to Animal Jam, sort of for kids that were aging out of Animal Jam, and it didn't find the product market fit that we needed, but it led to the ability for us to use the scaffolding of that to create Fer.al. And now we're really excited because I think we've got the right combination of business model and fit between product and the audience here, energy in it. And I think from developers to players to everybody, there's just so much positivity in the scene and excitement for the future, for what's coming, for what can be done with this technology. You know, there's negativity around NFT collecting and things. I prefer to look at what people are really doing with blockchain. You know, what are they enabling players or art collectors or photographers or anybody else to do that they couldn't do before, and to have more control and participation in those communities, right? You know, before we have these large scale game communities that we operate, we go to those players for feedback all the time, and we're able to get feedback back in. But it's not quite the same as when players are owners. They're deeply invested in the game. They don't want to just see the next new feature that they want to play. They want to see the next new feature that's going to bring more people in. It's going to get more people excited. That's beneficial to the fun factor, but it's also, it increases the value of what they're creating. Having hundreds or thousands of people connecting from different speed internet connections in different parts of the world. They've got different ping times. They've got different computer setups. This is kind of the ultimate stress test for day one of this server. You are so fast turning around in there. Maybe it's just
moving fast.
Maybe it's just the delay.
I think it's just super laggy on this screen share for some reason.
How's this gonna feel and play out?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Paint like a roadmap that's a few steps ahead, just so players can get an idea of what to expect.
We're going to be dropping these creator tokens to you. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways and contests inside the world of Cinder. So we'll be announcing events in our Discord to meet up in there, kind of keeping the community together and getting their feedback. That's great. We've got lots of stuff to give away, and we're excited about giving back to the people who minted here. As we're doing that, all of our efforts are going into development of this mechanic that I alluded to earlier. We're creating this series of creatures that we're going to be populating this world with. You're going to be leaving the trader's port area and going out into the open wild, where you're going to encounter these creatures, and you could probably make a comparison to Pokemon here, because there's a catching mechanic where you try to catch these things in the wild, and once you do, you train them. By training them, there are actual training games that you play to increase their stats and change their characteristics. But ultimately, there's also the ability to customize them. If you're playing something like Pokemon Go, I throw away 99% of the Pokemon that I catch. You're only keeping the ones that are really great, have great stats, or you really like the look of them. And it'll be similar here in that you're going to catch a lot of these things, and you're going to be on the lookout for ones that have rare characteristics or that are super badass, and that you really want to train up. You might be able to even dress them. You're going to be able to really make them look cool. And then you'll be able to take them to the in-game Tokenizer, a machine that turns them into NFTs. The best creatures that you have caught and that you've trained and that you want to battle with, you can turn into NFTs, and now you own them. They're on the blockchain. That means that you can sell, trade them, do whatever you want with them. But our hope is that you're going to feel really invested in training them and making them look cool. And then, from there, of course, it's PvP battles. It's some PvE games that you're going to be engaging with them in. The Fae, the avatars that we're releasing with this NFT drop, have a particular affinity with one type of these creatures. In the future, as new avatar species come into Cinder, they will have different affinities for other species of creatures. So you're going to find them easier to train, easier to catch. A lot of our thinking, development, design is going into making that hunting and catching mechanic really fun, really cool. Your own environment that you build and customize in the world. So if you want to build a nightclub or a cafe or whatever it is, maybe it's a storefront for your company or for your cool avatars that you're selling or something else. But you'll be able to tokenize that as well.
I think open world is probably like my favorite type of environment to play in, and just that exploration element to it, and then you feel more invested in your adventure into the game. Like you get sucked into it, right? You can collect them in a real way. We have someone on our team who creates these tokens. I'm not sure if it's the same guy that designs them. A particle physicist, Ludovic. He handles all the whitelist token distributions.
So each world can kind of get full. And then it spawns a new instance of the world. So there's a lot more people online than just what we see here. There's multiple instances.
League of Legends is an example of games, or Fortnite, games that are accessible. Accessibility seems to be the biggest focus for some of these games. It's the reason why they're so successful.
Yeah, I think Minecraft's a really good example of that, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's the gameplay and the fun. Not every game can look like Minecraft and still be fun.
Is that proximity voice chat, or is it channel?
It's channel or party chat, essentially. Map's very simple. It's just showing that, hey, new worlds are going to be coming. These you can't click on yet. Like Cypher mentioned, we are going to have, or Cinder Spire, excuse me, he mentioned, we're going to have new worlds opening up, and you'll be able to find those in the map. So, Felix, you mentioned, is there proximity voice? That's one of the things, honestly, I want to add. I know that's not everyone's favorite when they come into a game. What color do we think I got? Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, what? I got one of the red crowns. These are so rare.
Nah, that's insider trading right there. So if you get a Fae without wings, will they eventually be able to purchase wings, or somehow?
That's a cool idea, and I think there totally ought to be a way. Kind of excited to get in and talk to the Fae in the world of Fer.al about this, because I think it would be kind of dope if there was a potion or something that we could drop, or some kind of contest that we could hold, and the unwinged Fae could join the winged Fae. Can be able to show everybody what we've been working on.
It must feel amazing, right?
It does. Look at all these Fae ready. It looks like Coachella in there.
Concert Coachella in Cinder when shit goes south, if the site crashes, or the Solana network is congested. That's also a silver lining, because what that means is there's so many people who we love this project so much. They're showing too much love that they actually,
Yeah.
break stuff. Like we are nervous, and obviously down to like our amazing engineering team who's been working 24/7 basically to optimize everything. So like, the credit really goes to them, but we obviously have a long way to go. We're
Yeah.
not completely satisfied. There's still a lot of improvements to be made. That we just want to build quickly, like we want to move fast, and we want to listen to our community and game partners on what they want to see. And because like ultimately at the end of the day, we're building for them, right? We're not like building
Right.
for ourselves. That's like the main thing, that we're making sure that these go to people who are actually going to play the game. I guess people can do what they want at the end of the day, but I think especially like gaming NFTs are quite different from art NFTs.
Really, there's a lot to explore here.
Can you guys explain some of like the story or the lore behind Cinder? Because I feel like that's quite an important thing for people to get immersed into the game.
Yeah, I think it is, and we haven't talked a lot about that yet, Felix, and we've actually been working to kind of fold it in with the new game mechanics that are coming. There's a world obviously that we've been working on for quite some time, and working on in the context of another project, and then bringing parts of that project into here. But this is a completely different story, different lore, different backstory. What I can tell you is that the story actually incorporates the Solana blockchain itself. It can't tell you a whole ton about the lore. It can tell you more about what's coming up feature-wise and gameplay-wise, because we've got a fun world right now to run around in, to hold events in, to chat with friends and meet people and see everybody's crazy looks.
We want to get people in here. We want to get people in and chatting and really telling us what they want to see next, what they want us to focus on. I keep calling it the wrong name.
I think people are a bit confused at the moment. So this Cinder right now is just like a playable. It's essentially a demo. What can we do in the game? I can see people running around, but there's no games or challenges yet.